everything she gave me, I was like, wow, she really put a lot into me. And I just thought about the things she didn't do.
I sort of felt cheated because I didn't get to have the normal young person's mom and daughter relationship.
Welcome, Woven Ones. This is Generations Woven, where the voices of 3 generations blend into one tapestry of truth, laughter, love, and life.
There's an invisible thread that ties us all through the rises, through the falls. We are stronger when we stand as one, together shining like the sun.
Mother's Day is beautiful, and it's complicated. For some, it's flowers and gratitude. For others, it's grief. For some, it's distance. For some, it's the weight of becoming what they never had. Today, we're not talking about perfect moms. We're talking about the mother story you carry, the one that shaped how you love, how you protect, how you show up, or how you struggle. This episode is for anyone who has a mother, misses a mother, is a mother, or is still healing from one. There's different perspectives and different stories that we all carry as women of our mothers. And I've found as I became a mother, I started to understand my mother a little bit better. It still took me probably 15 years to really see that she was also living her life the first time too.
Yeah.
Right? We think that maybe our mothers should have had all the tools and known all the things, and we can easily blame them for maybe different circumstances in our life. The funny story that I have is just when I hear myself as if it's my mother. Like I go to say something and I'm like, oh my gosh, that sounds like my mom.
Your mouth opens and your mom comes out?
Yes.
I know.
Yes. Has that ever happened to you?
Oh, many times.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
But I would say with my mom, I'm fortunate that she's a very compassionate, very caring, very involved mom. I was very lucky to be in all the activities as a child, and she made sure that I got to all of them, whether I was in drama or dance or sports, which I did everything. Anything I could possibly do for the social interaction was where I was.
Does that surprise you?
No.
Okay.
And thankfully, my mom took me to all of them. So
Was she a stay-at-home mom?
No.
She was working
Yes.
and did that?
Yes. And she worked in the medical field. So she was, like I said, always very compassionate, very caring. Anyone who knows my mom just says she's, just so sweet.
Right.
She is very sweet.
But she was able to balance all of that. But did I ever see that? No, I didn't see that when I was younger.
Right.
I remember wanting to go outside and ask my mom to come outside and play ball with me.
Some
And
moms do
She said
that.
no. I don't remember maybe those moments of going outside or like doing something together, but those are the things that I held on to as younger. I held on to what she didn't do for me. I held on to what she didn't give me or didn't have, instead of looking at all the amazing things that she did. And that's where we started talking about this conversation we were going to have. And I was like, I don't know what to say about my mom. But then as I really thought about her and the situations and the everything she gave me, I was like, wow, she really put a lot into me. And I just thought about the things she didn't do.
Why do we do that?
I don't, as people, why do we look at what we don't have instead of what we've got?
Yeah.
And
Me.
yes.
Is it a comparison thing that you might have had a friend whose mom was not like that?
I think it was a TV thing.
Darn the TV.
I think it was, not Full House because they didn't have a mom, unfortunately.
Leave it to Beaver.
I think it's the perception that even like that television gave of the perfect family doing all the things together and making it seem like this is, look at that it was normal. And then me feeling like I didn't have that. And this is me looking back now, right? This retrospectiveness. I think it was more of a perception of something.
Mm-hmm.
What do you guys think
That
of?
wasn't necessarily true. And in
Yeah.
one of our podcasts, we talk about the lies. I think one of the biggest lies that we believe as daughters of mothers is that they got everything sorted out. They know what they're doing. They've been here before us. What is wrong? Why do they not understand us? And it's their first time too. Nobody handed them a manual. But like you said, Tasha, I think when you become a mom, then you realize, I didn't get the manual. I don't know what I'm doing. And that's when you start really giving grace to your mom and your dad. Like I can tell you, I am so thankful for my mom. Did we get along? Were we close? No, not at all. I was close to her mom because I looked like her and she was a businesswoman and I loved her so, so much. But my mom and she was too, are extremely stylish. And I have learned so much from her. She was a teacher. And literally, if you go into her closet, you would see all the jackets, all the blouses, all the skirts. And I never remember if they wore pants, but very organized. And she had and she still does, such a sense of, let me go travel the world. And that adventurous, I'm sure I got that I always thought I got it from my dad, but my mom's like that. And both of them absolutely adores learning new things. And I look back and I'm like, yes, I didn't have that, but I got that. And isn't that more important? I got exactly the right mom for me because I don't think I was an easy child. Not at all. And my mom carried me in such a beautiful way where you're talking about everything you could do. Us human beings are so interesting. We took piano lessons. I got ballet and tap dance. I could do anything.
We had a piano.
Except one thing. I was never allowed to do horse riding. I don't know why. What's the very first thing I do with my child who is less than 18 months? I'm going to get her on a horse. Like, really? Like, that's important?
That
It
was
for me.
Because you didn't get it.
Yes.
Isn't that interesting? The things we don't get, we
Make sure our kids
crave
do.
or yes.
I have nothing.
It is interesting, but I think it's one of those things that it does take years. I had a daughter and I think it took until she was like 12 to 15 before I really made that realization that my mom was doing the best that she could with the tools she had at that time. Instead of me judging,
Yeah.
it must be just an age thing, like as we get older,
I think so.
or maybe experiences. I don't know. What do you think, Judy? What do you think? Why are we so hard on our
Moms.
mothers?
I'm a poor one to ask.
I think you're the perfect one to
Well,
ask.
I have a different perspective because, like I said, my mom was
Older.
44 when she had me. So it was 2 generations there. You know what I mean? So I always felt I got cheated out of having a normal relationship with a parent.
What is that? Some
'Cause
moms and daughters have
Because when I got
dysfunctional
up old
relationships
enough, she wasn't able to go do things,
with you.
like moms and daughters do.
Yeah.
Those kind of things never happened. And so
But I think that digging into that, what were those things? What things did she do versus what are the things she didn't do that you thought needed to be done?
we did some things, but I always had to help her get out and get her walker. And, it wasn't like we could just take off.
Take
and go
off.
have lunch. It was a different perspective. I was her caretaker, basically. I had 2 brothers,
That's right.
they're both gone,
Yeah.
but they were 24 and 26 when I was born.
Oh, wow.
Mm.
That's like a only child.
Yeah, and then when my mom got older, my one brother died of cancer and the other died open heart surgery at 48. So they were, it was my responsibility to take care of mom.
Yeah.
But it's like, I have a lot of good memories too, don't get me wrong. I remember one time we got out of school at lunchtime for teachers, whatever. And I came home and we actually lived in the building that Tasha lives in now, had the patio overlooking the street area.
Yeah.
And my mom made my favorite sandwich. ham and Swiss on rye with lettuce and, you know,
Just like last night.
yeah,
What we ate for dinner.
yeah.
Oh, I love that.
And a sweet tea.
Mm.
And I came home from school and she had it already out on the patio. And you know, that's 75 or 70 years ago. I remember it like it was yesterday.
Mm,
Isn't that funny? But we always recall smells, tastes, you
yeah.
know, all those things.
It just reminded me of like playing outside in the snow in the winter. Every time I came in, she had hot chocolate ready for me.
Oh,
Yeah. So, you know, I have I sort of felt cheated because I didn't get to have the normal young person's mom and daughter relationship. And I became more of a parent and her the daughter, you know, kind of thing. So I'm not a good one to ask. And I think for the longest period of time, I was sort of angry along with that because it all fell on my shoulders.
sure.
So, you know, I love my mom. I can look back and say I have no regrets. I did what I needed to do. I took care of her. I loved her, and you know, but I do feel that I missed out on things that young women like you get to do with your mom, and
Mm.
you know,
Like now,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Did you make peace with that? Or are you still holding on to that
I think I'm
today?
still processing. I don't think about it hardly ever until we
Sure.
bring it up and
Yeah, and in
we're
episode.
discussing. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? But it took me a long time to figure out why I had these feelings. Like,
Mhm.
but I think that's it in a nutshell. Is just you know realizing that it wasn't quote idealistic having a mother that's you know 25 when I'm born, say 2025. You know what I
Versus
mean?
44.
Yeah. And so, you know, a lot of my friends called her grandma, and you know, that's just the way it was.
I don't know. I like to look at things like that as there's always a gift. So maybe, it could be a good idea to go, what's the gift that I got with a mom like I had? Because there is a gift in it. And when you have and you struggle with your relationship with your mom, a good exercise that I've seen to get those emotions out of your body, because they're sitting there.
Yeah.
And many times that spills over to your children in some way, is to literally, and if they're no longer here, get a chair. They call it the dyad position. Get two chairs facing each other. Get a picture of your mom. And then go and sit and talk and say, it really didn't work for me that you were 44 when I was born. I felt like I missed out on a lot of things. And say everything. If it takes you an hour and you cry, then that's what it is. But the last thing you say is, but I love you because you gave me life. Because she could have made a different decision and you would not have been here and you wouldn't have had daughters and we would not be here having this conversation.
Right.
So at the end of the day, she made the biggest difference by giving you life, being your mom. So for our daughters, what did we do to overcompensate with the things we felt we didn't get for whatever reason? But what was that for you with your two daughters? And I just get it that we all have two.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Probably I was in activities. I let my daughter quit activities. Maybe that was something that I overcompensated for, was like, I felt like my mom, maybe she didn't put me in anything. I don't know. She had me in dance and all the things from the time I was 3, right? So she started me in all the things. So then I started my daughter in the things and I let her quit, not realizing how great those things were for me. That if
For you or for her?
how much they were for me. So I didn't realize by being in the sports and doing all those activities, how it really built out my
Oh,
life.
okay, I'm reading it a different way.
Yeah, I
Sorry.
thought so too.
No, I'm sorry. So let's take that back. The thing that I've noticed is I put my daughter into dance like I was, but then I let her quit. And my perspective is I didn't realize how valuable it was
Okay.
that my mom put me in those things and forced me to kind of stick them out. because I loved them. I loved doing all those things, but my daughter, I didn't keep up with it.
Sure.
Thinking that I was almost overcompensating, like, well, my mom forced me to do some of that stuff. I'm not going to force my daughter.
Oh,
So I did the opposite, but it didn't turn out the best. So I think that's the pieces where I was overcompensating, kind of blaming, in a way, blaming my mom, like she made me do all these things. So I'm like, well, I want to give my daughter a choice. No. So I think that's kind of opposite of what you were saying.
That
That's
is interesting.
something I just thought of, but
Well, I hate to tell you, but what works for one child doesn't work for the next one.
I believe that.
And you think you got it, oh, this was easy. I got this all figured out. And the next one comes and it's like, whoa, where did this one come from? This doesn't work.
yeah, and
That's the gift because I think our children are the gifts for us. Honestly, it is from all the projects in my life, the hardest. But I would not be who I am today if I didn't have daughters, I can tell you. And I'm thankful. And some of those lessons were very, very hard. But looking back now, if your child comes to you and go, well, what advice do you have? We don't have advice till we have gone through the bad and the ugly and the good. I'm so thankful for my mom. She's just an incredible person. And looking back now, I'm like, wow, Mom, if I can be half the person you are, I would say, good job. So,
beautiful.
yeah, she's
that it's probably, you would not have said this 30 years ago.
no. And, I was 18 and I'm like, yeah, I'm leaving the house. So
Yeah.
I ran
It's
away.
as we,
Yeah.
and it's something that we're not there at,
Yeah,
not everyone reaches it at the same time.
correct.
Why is it children think we know nothing, don't have
At
a
a
clue,
certain point, right?
and
Well,
then
that's a
they
whole
become
episode, I
parents,
think.
and their children start growing up, all of a sudden, you really did know what you were talking about.
I was
Some
talking,
things.
I went to coffee with somebody this week, and her and I were talking about how we're not the same parent that raises each of our kids.
Of course.
And just like our parent is not the same mom that raised my sister who raised me,
Yeah.
because they're learning things and they're growing. Just like right now, I'm not the same mom for my daughter when she was 16 as I am for my son at 16. And I see that. She sees it too. She thinks that she was the only one. She's like, you never grounded him. He didn't do anything to get grounded for. Maybe my perspective is, maybe I was harsher on her. Maybe, right? I don't know. But it's just funny, like they notice it, but it's because I'm not the same person I was when you were 16 as I am when he's 16, and I won't be the same person when he's 20.
Right.
And that's just kind of part of our own growth
Yeah.
and learning.
But they say, and I've heard them, that being said, and I think the difference is that if you look at the family order, I've done some trainings on this because it's fascinating, the birth order. The first child, I kind of feel sorry for that child because it's very hard
Guinea
for
pig.
them. Yeah, well, getting picked.
Yeah.
No, I think it's in the sense that you're the guinea pig because they don't know. But their social and financial circumstances are typically very different than when the second child comes around and the third one. For me growing up with my sisters. So there's more resources when you come to the later one, whereas the first one might say, well, we didn't have a lot of money or there was scarcity in the house, where the younger one would go, what are you talking about? We always had lots of money for things.
I have to laugh. When I had the first one, every time they had somebody taking pictures, I had boxes of pictures, and by the time I had the last one, he asked me was I adopted?
Oh, you didn't take pictures?
Not as many
Not as
pictures.
many, no.
Well, especially with 5, you're at that point, you're like, I'm over this camera thing. But
We didn't have the cell phone stuff.
Yes.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it is very different, and it's just kind of the way it is. Sometimes we raise our first one is growing up with us.
Yes. As we're growing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me ask you the questions because I don't have boys and both of you do. Is it very different raising a boy versus a girl?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm,
Easier?
so much easier.
Yeah,
Initially or later?
I think the whole.
Initially.
I think even later so far, but
Well, yours is 16.
Wake up,
Let's wait.
16. Do I,
Wake up.
Wake up. Wait. Yeah. We'll wait.
this Mother's Day, Instead of forcing celebration or silence, give yourself honesty. If she was loving, thank her. If she disappointed you, acknowledge it. If she's gone, speak her name out loud. If you are a mother now, acknowledge that you did not get a manual or a script. You are allowed to hold gratitude and grief in the same hand. And this week, I want you to write one sentence. The mother story I carry is, and write it out. What's your mother's story? Whether it's, the mother that didn't do the things that you thought that she should have been doing, or the mother who didn't support you in some way. And ask yourself, what do I want to keep and what do I want to rewrite? Until next time, God bless.
There's an invisible